Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Craft the World. And on this episode, we are going to continue where we left off. As you can see, I do have some of them making some beer. The reason behind that is I wanted to give them something else to eat other than the fish. You can kind of see that there is a little bit of the steaks left, but not a whole lot. And when I start putting the beer down, they're going to go through a lot of that really quickly. And unfortunately, I can't really make any more right now because you need pretty much coal for everything when it comes to food. In fact, I'll show you guys real quick. If you wanted to make fish stew, even the grilled fish, even the steaks, everything in here pretty much requires coal. There's the few base ingredients that you can give them that don't require it, and then of course this one. But there's no apples on this freaking map. I would have to buy every single one of those apples. I wish you could make them, like you could make resources and things of that sort, but I guess because it is a base resource, they're not going to let you do that. But since we need coal, we're going to have to go off looking for that. But there's a few other things I wanted to touch on before we start looking for that coal. And then, of course, we have to replant some of the traps down here. I guess it's probably not that important, but it's something I like to do just for insurance reasons. I don't like to lose my doors because I was being, lax on that. We got a miner's book. Increases the speed at which blocks of earth and rock are excavated. So we did have a suggestion to come over here. I think it was Caffeinated Man, or Caffeinator Man that suggested this, but don't hold me to that. I'll have to look at the comment section again. But they suggested, instead of just allowing these mummies to constantly respawn over and over and over again, to just fill this entire thing in with dirt and see if that does anything. And I think they're probably right. I think probably just filling in this top row right here will do it, because that seems to be the place they always spawn. But we'll have to see, if we fill it in up here, they may spawn down here, they may spawn over here, they may even spawn out here. So there may not be any way of stopping that. It may just be wherever the closest general proximity to this one little area is where they will spawn. But at the very least, I could always just close them in. I could just put a block here and a block down here, and they'd never be able to leave. But at this point, I kind of like it when they can leave because it reduces the amount of lag. I've never had any problem on any of the other levels. It's only on this one where they quite literally spawned in the hundreds in one little tiny area that the computer was, or even the game itself was just like, no, we're not doing that. And yeah, you could see the lag. It was pretty horrible. And the only way to fix that was to kill off a whole bunch of them and then, restart the game, actually restart the computer a lot of the time, because I would get error messages from the game itself, which would just freak out the computer for, hours on end unless you restarted it. So, yeah, it's one of those weird things. But I did update the patches recently, so maybe that might have fixed some of it as well, because we haven't really noticed it in a while. So I have my hopes pretty high that we won't see that again. And it's raining. It's over already. It was over before I even got to the top. Wow, that is some quick rain. That would not like living there. Now, we did have a suggestion down here on what to do with the design next to the couch, since we can't have two of them, because it does kind of look a little bare, kind of a little off down here. Tamara suggested we put a palm tree down there, so that's exactly what we're going to do. I believe we have, yeah, it's a potted palm. Do we have any other ones? No, that's the only one, right? Okay, we'll put that down there. Now, we do have the resources for it. We got a bucket, and we did get another suggestion as well. If you happen to see resources of the same kind next to each other, if you just go and get one of them, I'm told anyways, and I'll have to find one that we haven't done, and then just double click on it, it should fill the other ones of the same kind automatically. So if we were doing something like wood, and we're using dirt and, or not wood, coal, and we're using wood and dirt to make it, when we put one dirt here, it should fill up all the ones around the outside, and then all you have to do is drag another dirt. So that's kind of a cool tip. I didn't know that because when I started the game, it wasn't something you could do. When I started, you literally had to drag each one of the items over to the spot every single time you wanted to make that item again. So, like right now, if I make this item, it's in the memory, so I can just go back to it over here. If I click off of it, let's see, where did it go? And click onto here, I can just hit the build button. But when I started with the patch, you couldn't do that. You'd have to go back and drag everything over here. Then you could make like 15 of them, but the moment you clicked off, it would reset. So, yeah, there have been a few changes here and there that I was not aware of, which is very cool that you guys are letting me know. I do appreciate that because it's a new experience to play a video game that is just coming out and is still in development, because you learn it one way because you test it over and over and over again to see if something else is different, and then you figure out, okay, that's the only way to do that. You don't really go back very often to retest it because you did that the first time, and when they make changes that you're just not keeping up with and not actually reading the message boards and seeing like everything that they fixed or changed or updated or whatever the case may be, then you know, you're still doing it basically the slow way because, you know, the fast way never existed when you started. But yeah, it's kind of cool that they're still making changes. I do appreciate that. It's just a different experience that I've never encountered before. So let's see. Okay, so they're done doing that. We're gonna come over here. I think we're gonna concentrate on filling this up with dirt and see how that goes, because I'm kind of interested to know. I don't know how we're gonna do this other than maybe do it ourselves, because it would just take them forever otherwise. So let's go ahead and switch to this. And then, of course, they may miss a spot, and I really don't want them to miss a spot. I want them to make sure that they get every single one of these. Let's go ahead and chop this down. I almost trapped myself in. That's another thing they probably would have done, that I would have to sit here and just go one block at a time, one block at a time. And you just never know if they're going to be the ones that come over here. So, I don't know about the ladder. Should we take it? Yeah, I guess we're going to take it down. Can you stop right there? Okay, that's gonna work. What about... There we go, okay. So he can keep doing this all the way down. Is he gonna chop it? See, I could actually tell other people to do things by doing the second mouse button. I didn't know that I could do that while I was actually selected in here. Of course, I should have been filling that up with dirt as I came down, so that was... okay, let's put some scaffolding down. What is that guy doing? Was he coming over here to chop something down? Aw, come on. You just came over here to get messed up, right? And then kind of take up my time so I couldn't put anything down. That is ridiculous. Let's click that. No, come on. You know what I want. Stop doing that. You know, I can actually do 2 away from me, so let's just do that. Because it does give you... it's not like a cheat, but it is kind of a benefit to taking control of them. Because you should technically, you know, be better at moving a dwarf around than they are, because you're like the supreme being that's telling them what to do from the moment they've entered this strange new you know, map. And I can't wait to see the next one, guys. The next one is supposed to be pretty cool, so much harder than this one, I'm told. So yeah, man, they must be so bored over there. They're literally just sitting there waiting for me to chop something down so they can run over here and pick it up. Because that's exactly what he did. The moment it fell down, he was already coming through that portal. And yeah, there goes another one, and he's going to have to run all the way around. And I know he will. You know, there's probably somebody running the slow way, which is actually really far. Oh, come on, guys. Get out of my way, because I can't build it on him. But if I click on him, it seems to move him at least. That's interesting. Now, I don't know how I'm going to seal up this last spot, to be honest. Come on. Oh, you guys. I'm going to send this guy back, release him, and then we're going to go over there real quick. Yeah, we'll have to... I kind of painted myself into a corner there. We'll have to... Man, I don't know. We might have to just chop all that dirt down. But I think this is a pretty good start. I don't think we have to do any more than that, and see if that makes any difference. Because if they stop spawning altogether now, then we know it's just because they were literally spawning in that one spot, and once that one spot is covered, you know, you don't have to worry about it anymore. And so if you run into this issue, you may just decide to do that so that you don't have to constantly fight, you know, 150 mobs at one time and risk, you know, your dwarves dying. My guys are down here again. Unbelievable. I guess I should be used to it by now. Anytime there's an enemy on the map and my dwarves can take the most, you know, just asinine way that they can get to it, they will. Like, they know, hey, this is the safe path, and this is definitely not the safe path. let me go ahead and take the not safe path. Oh wait, there's a third option. There's an incredibly dangerous and you're sure to die path. You know what? That sounds even better to me. And that's exactly how my dwarves act. And it's crazy. It drives me nuts sometimes. It does add the excitement into the game, I think, because you do have to constantly, check them and not get, complacent. Because it's easy to do that. After a certain point in the game, you don't really have to monitor as much as you did before, and they're not actually doing anything. So let's get them down here. No, there's not going to be anything. Oh, there's coal at least, and we do need that. So let's do this. We will come in here and get all of this coal, and we will check this little area out over here because I was kind of interested to see what was there. And do we have any more torches? Yes, we do. Thankfully, we got another 10 minutes. There should be plenty of time to do some searching down here. Where are my torches? Torches. Oh man, I don't make these very often. Usually because I don't have very much resin, and I know I can use the slime. And look how many I can make: 1,224. Because I haven't made one since the beginning of the game. You know what? We're gonna make times 10. Let's see, 40. No, we're gonna do 200. We're going to do that a couple of times, just for kicks. I think that's funny. Oh my god, 600. Nuts, man. And ever since we put down those Tesla towers, where are they? Over here for the dragons, we have not got one dragon to spawn on the map. It's like they know that if they come up here, they die. Or maybe it's just not big enough for them, but it should be because they fly up areas like this, so that means they're only one as far as the width goes, so... Yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't be able to get up either one of these sides. But they just don't seem to want to come up now. And it's driving me kind of nuts. I've even put my my dwarves over there for a while so that they would, maybe attract the aggro or something like that. But no, nothing even close to that. Let's see, you guys need to get that. And we will put down... Actually, we'll keep this side this color, and then we'll go on the other side and use the green ones, just because I think that's kind of... No, we don't want that. We want this. I guess we do, just so they can get back. 'Cause I don't want them to stay over here forever. And we do have a fair bit of power. I mean, not a whole lot, but we have enough, I think, to do what we need to do. And you can hear them down here, too. Oh, man. You guys suck so bad. Come on, go all the way up. Well, see, that's weird, because he won't go up this one. Maybe because it's a... Like, he can only go straight up. He can't, like, change directions that quickly. Or maybe he's bigger going that way than he is going up. That's probably the case. He's probably too high. And then when he comes over here, he'd need this block right here destroyed. And this block right here destroyed, so he can continue going up. But he can get up this side right over here. Unless the torch is blocking him. Which I don't think would be the case. I think torches block creatures. I've never seen that before. Huh. I don't know. I don't know what we did wrong over there. We may have to just mess around with it and see. Because I do want to figure that out. Because the next map... we do got Mithril down here. So we're going to come over here and get this. The next map, I definitely want to start putting those things down early on. So that... Or some sort of area that we can try to kill the dragons with. Even if it's just an area for my guys to meet up and try to go down there and kill them all at one time. Because it drops mithril armor on occasion. And even if you only get that 25% of the time, you're still going to be able to outfit your dwarves with mithril armor far sooner doing that than you will trying to get there with your level. And even if you didn't get there quicker, just getting that mithril armor like right off the bat, oh man, it makes such a huge difference when you're attacking these enemies. You'll notice it. And so yeah, I just can't see not doing it now that I'm aware of it. Like now I've been spoiled. I know about that little hidden little gem, and now I'm gonna do it every time that I can. I'm gonna go down there with like wooden swords and pickaxes and stuff like that, and still try to kill a dragon just because if I can get, and I don't even know if they drop the pickaxes and the axes, but if they do, yeah, what a even more incentive, If you can get one of those things are amazing. Anytime you've upgraded your pickaxes, you see a dramatic difference. It's not a small, you know, unnoticeable one. It's pretty big. I didn't even know we had 2 guys down here. How did they wake up? I've seen that a few times. Like, they will wake up long before. You guys are kidding me, aren't you? Not doing anything. Yeah, long before my guys even show up, these guys are down here digging. I can hear them in the darkness, where I can literally tell that none of my guys have been anywhere near that area. And I just got mithril and gold from this rock. Do these things drop that on occasion? Because, wow, then you can just harvest every little bit of this that you could possibly get your hands on, and maybe make a fair bit of, and I can't believe I moved, but make a fair bit of gold and platinum, or, yeah, mithril, I mean. Dang it. Sorry, guys. I'm thinking of, like, EverQuest. It's one of the problems you get when you do multiple videos daily for different games, is you start calling it or referring to stuff from one video to the other, and it's a little ridiculous, probably for some of you who are watching who don't watch those other ones. You're like, what are you talking about, platinum? But, yeah, it's just a different kind of in-game, you know, the top-of-the-line resource from different games. You know, sometimes they use mithril if it's that fantasy-type game. Sometimes they use platinum, you know, and other times it's just gold. Like, I see a lot of games, they just stop at gold because that was such the standard for so long. Holy crap, how long does it take to chop this thing down? It didn't take nearly this long. Oh, what the crap? That thing is broken, I guess, because both of us are digging it? That's nuts. Okay, well, let's come over here and grab some more guys to help him out, because I don't think... Oh, I guess actually he is. He's doing fairly well on his own. I think he probably could have done that by himself. But I like giving him some extra little backup just in case. Although the other guys just came over here to loot, and then they were running back. I guess it's a good thing I gave them a portal. Otherwise, they would already be running down here in a very, very long method. Because this is like the bottom of the map. They would have to go down this incredibly long mine shaft. And I wish there was a way to extend the mine shafts, or not the mine shafts, but the elevators. I know somebody said they were a lot longer when the game first came out, and it was causing issues, and making it shorter was just one of their ways of fixing it. But, I don't know, I really wish you could make it as long as you want. Because then I would have these really, really long mine shafts going straight down to the bottom, and it'd just be really efficient. And I don't really like the idea of having to, you know, stop at like the 50th floor and get off and do another one. Yeah, that is the case in some buildings, but for the most part nowadays, I don't see that ever. Like, that used to be a thing when I was a kid, that they only went up to a certain height and you had to get off and take another set. But nowadays, you know, if you have a floor that, or a building that has like 100 floors, you can find an elevator that goes up to that. At least from what I have vaguely been paying attention to. Like, I don't really, you know, monitor that too closely, but I don't ever remember getting in an elevator in the last like 15 years that I had to get out of and get into another one. And I've gotten into really, really tall buildings before, so I don't think that's a thing anymore. But so I kind of wish that that wasn't a thing in here, where you had to have multiple ones. Maybe have it where you have to build multiple generators or something, instead of having the elevator itself. Maybe the exact same thing, just every, you know, 25 squares or something like that, to give it extra power, extra stability, or whatever the case may be. That I could see being a thing, but to just say no, you can't do it, I wish that wasn't the case. I wish they could go back and maybe fix whatever the issue was with that some other way. And we do get a miner's book here. Increases the speed at which blocks of earth and rock are excavated. And I used to think that the type of book that you got, whether it was mining or fighting, oh, we're about to get another one of these guys. Which way is he gonna? Oh yeah, see, there's gold there. So these things just randomly drop gold or mithril. Is he gonna do anything? Kill him! Come on, guys, you can do it. You can do it. Oh no, they're not gonna do it in time. Dang it! I do want to kill him just for the sake of seeing what he drops. Like, I've never seen it, and so I just have to get really lucky is all. Because all my guys would have to be down here. They'd all have to have those freezing potions, because that like stops him dead in his tracks for like a millisecond. And so you would just need tons and tons of those, and they will just keep throwing them over and over again. So I don't think that's an issue. I just think having enough of them, and then of course having all your dwarves in one location to actually do that. you know, they have to be there like before he shows up. And I guess if you could somehow make all of them appear and then all dig in one area, that would have a very good chance of having him show up, and maybe you could be prepared for it that way. But I've never gotten to that point where I'm able to do that. So if any of you have killed him, or maybe you want to try that method out, let me know how it goes, because I'm fairly interested to find out if it's just garbage that he drops, or maybe you spawn. Maybe he's like the chicken in Zelda. Like if you kill him, maybe he just spawns like a gazillion of those little dudes that just tear up your map in probably some horrifying ways, because they would attack like your base and all your tunnels, and they'd be like these, just a mass of what it used to be, and you wouldn't be able to see half of it because it'd all be in darkness now because it ate up all your torches and stuff. That would be kind of a cool little thing. Like, because how often would you actually kill one of those? So you couldn't use it to your benefit. Like, you'd have to be at in-game, and you'd have to set it all up, like I said, to even have a remote chance at killing him. So to get something weird like that, I love it when they throw like Easter eggs in that are just, yeah, you shouldn't have done that, and because you shouldn't have done that, we're not gonna punish you, really, but we kind of are. It's gonna be punishment in an enjoyable way that you will laugh and cry at the same time, and yet probably never do it again unless you're just like, let me go ahead and tear up my map. Like in SimCity, when you get to a certain point and you're like, okay, it's maxed, I can't possibly make this any more efficient than it already is. A lot of the time I see people would go in there and they would just be like, okay, tornado time or monster attack the city time, and then they would rebuild after that just to kind of watch it be destroyed and give it a chance to be redesigned in a different way than maybe you did the first time, and see if that was more efficient, because a lot of time once you think it's perfect, you don't really want to go back and change it. But when you're forced to go back and change it, sometimes you find better methods. And so yeah, I think yeah, it'd be kind of the same thing. It'd be that like Destructo mod that you could turn on and be like, okay, let's tear it all up and see maybe if we can rebuild it somewhere cooler. Maybe because he tore up lines in certain methods, now it looks like a skull's face, or maybe I can spell my name out in the tunnel system or something like that. I think that's pretty cool. I don't know if they did that in this one, but I just like the idea. And we're about to get a new wave here, and we didn't put any traps down. So I guess it's a good idea, or a good thing that most of my guys are pretty full of life. Let's see, so we got one on the left. How long is that portal left for? 8 minutes? That's not bad. I put a pretty heck of a good one down there. Got one on the right, two on the right. Well, my right side would be my strongest because it does have the 3 Tesla towers, and that's pretty nice. These guys are really, really good, but the only downside to them is that the range on them isn't what it should be if you do something like this. And I guess that's not really a downside, it's just don't do this kind of style. It's a pillbox is what I was trying to go for. And it originally started at this level for those that maybe haven't watched those episodes. And it didn't have this thing on the top either. So they were able to walk right up to it, kind of jump over it, rather than sit here and just pummel on it because it was too tall for them. And so they would come over here, hop over, and while they were doing that, the idea was this would shoot them all the way, and it would also shoot them as they approached. But what I found is it didn't actually do that. It wouldn't attack unless they were standing right here. And the thing was, is once I lowered this and put another door, that fixed the issue completely. Like now they will attack all the way over here and things of that sort. So I guess it was just like a line of sight, and that's why over here I put it higher up. And of course you can see that I have the doors so that it can fire out, and the enemies can't get in. They'd have to destroy the doors first, because you don't want to leave this thing open to the gargoyles or any of the other enemies that may build bridges all the way across like this. And another thing is, ever since I put the scaffolding here, I don't notice them building the bridges up here like they used to. They used to stand here and build like 3-4 bridges trying to get across to this thing. I think the scaffolding messes them up. I don't think they know what to make of that. They're like, well, it's not quite the edge, so that means I don't build on it. But yet I can still walk on it, so now I don't need to build one? Or something along those lines, because it's just, they don't do it. Like, this is the only one that they built. And usually by now they have like 3 at least, so. And I do love how my guys kind of came out here on their own to deal with this. And they're just kicking the crap out of it, man. I don't think this is an issue anymore. I don't think I need to put more traps down. I was just putting that down as like a safety net because I knew it worked with them, and I didn't really want to risk it without them. But yeah, I don't see that being a need for it. And these things are going to wreck all these guys before they even get across. The only thing that I might be worried about is if they get in over here, which they just did. But these guys are all jumping above it. Ah, crap, guys. I hate these guys. Ugh. And they're gonna bust into my house again. I don't understand what the idea behind, or the thinking behind for these guys is different than the other guys. Like, these other guys are literally jumping over it, and the only reason they're coming back is because they get over here and they're like, oh, now that I've reached the goal of where I was set, you know, because they set like a waypoint, and it's not until they get there that they rethink their decision. They should be rethinking that all the time, but they're not. And so they get there, kind of like my guys do the same thing. They get there and I have to like reset them, and a lot of the time if you just take control of them, that resets them in a pretty fast way. You don't have to wait for them to get to the location. These guys, what is going on with these guys? It's not daylight yet, is it? No, it's not quite daylight, but yet they're all stuck. Wow, it's like this hole completely freaked all of them out. They don't know what to make of it. They're probably not going to get out there in time. Yeah, they're going to start burning here in a second. That is weird. I don't know what to make of that either, guys. It's definitely unique. And they're moving so slow. That's not like the computer going slow. That's just them. Like the guys are just going slow. Wow, okay, so we're going to put this dirt down, fill that back in. That was pretty weird. I think my guys and the towers can handle it by themselves now. I don't think that's going to be an issue for me. So I can just save every little bit of wood that I get for other things. Not that I really need a whole lot of it anymore, but I do need coal. And so at this point, I could maybe see actually making some with my wood. Before, that was just such a waste of wood that I really never considered it. But now, not so much. Like, I could see doing that. And we're going to keep... No, we're going to leave those. We don't really need the water right now. If we do, we can always start collecting rainwater. And I know I'll probably regret that. And later on, I'll be like, oh, I wish I had been collecting more water, because then I wouldn't have to go out looking for it right now. But I think we're pretty close to the end. There's only a few places left on the map that we really need to explore. As you can see, we do have some silver over here. Don't really need that, but it is in the general area that we still have a big chunk that we haven't seen. And we're coming down here. We're actually pretty close to the right-hand side of the map. You can see it right there within our distance. It probably won't take us more than another couple episodes to explore most of this. And then once we're absolutely sure there are no more Guardians on the map, which I'm pretty much there. I pretty much resigned myself to I will have to play this level over again. You know, then I will, you know, of course, off camera, go ahead and play the level. And somebody said they wanted, I think it was Tamara asked for me to do, who's getting attacked? Oh, it's actually working. Holy crap, guys, it's actually working. This is cool. I want to see what it drops. What is it going to drop? It's actually attacking the tower, though. Okay, so it dropped a sword. Does it just have a chance of dropping anything? Because that's a leather armor that looks like a steel sword and maybe a steel axe. And then, like, food and coins. So it just has a random chance at dropping any type of weapon and armor? That could still be worth it. You know, that could still be rather nice. That's just weird, though. Like, I didn't know it had that ability, but that's very, very cool. But yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and end the episode here, guys. Again, I want to thank you all for watching. If you enjoy these episodes, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. Definitely helps grow my channel, and I greatly appreciate it. Also, leave those comments down below. I love hearing back from you guys. I'm going to have to put some more food down here pretty soon. But yeah, I mean, I love hearing back from you guys, and your suggestions have just been awesome. So I greatly appreciate all that as well. And again, guys, thanks for watching. I will catch you next time.